Flying start for Ferrato, or was it well? Fernandez led the way though from Lisiado. Carlos Sablis charged down the inside but made a slight mistake. So too did Kress in fourth position. But it was Kress who was on the charge and in a hurry on that two-stroke KTM. The number 55 in fourth position at that point. In the background though, closing in green, was Miro Sievenen, 147. He was now up into fifth place. Nick Kernberg was going with him in sixth place. At the end of the straight, Sievenen charged his way down the inside of the Latvian, and that was Jago Giertsen in fifth. Lisiado had a couple of attempts trying to find his way past the number 70 of Ruben Fernandez for that battle for second. A little bit untidy, but he did get the job done over the next jump, charged his way down the inside of the Spaniard, and the Italian was through in second. Gate dropped. EMX 250 race one, Lisiado backed off very, very early. Ruben Fernandez charged down the inside into second, but it was Pierre Goupillon who led over the first jump. This was a battle for second. Mid-race, Matej Buzrame parked it down the inside of the American to nick a position back. And Filotti was closing in on the background as well, but then he eventually got himself into that challenging position there. He found his way past Marshall, the 172 to go second.
The man on the move, though, was Filotti. He was just absolutely on rails out there. He looked really strong. Had to go through a lot of riders. Here was a great battle once again.
Yeah, Welton and Buzrame, they touched at the top of the hill as the American was trying to find his way into third. Eventually, with a couple of laps to go, he made that move around the outside
to take the position back that he gave up early on.
So the two Kawasaki's were pretty much line astern. Jed Beaton put a nail in the coffin of the 957, Simone Filotti. He made that pass as he also found his way past Tom Koch in the background as well. The Italian was really starting to fall apart here. Just about a lap to go. Ken Bengtson charged up the inside on his iFly JK Racing Yamaha and pushed the Italian back another position. And at the same time, Lisiado was past Buzrame, and that would swing the championship. welcome. EMX 125, race 1. Started to harass his way through there. He was just inside or around about the top 10 position. Found his way past Sergei Notario. And then, as he homed in on the guys ahead of him, Puccinelli, I think one of those guys, came into land over this next jump. He was just behind Thibaut Benestant. Made the pass, over jumped, hit a hole, crashing to the deck, picked himself up at about 25th place. Facchetti, who'd already made a mistake by that point, was charging back through the field, found his way back past Sergei Notario, and was knocking on the door for the top 3. Got himself past Zanotti with a neat little move around the outside. It was the first time that the Italian number 22 would use that on his Husqvarna.
Same spot. This time he gets it right, executes perfect turn, and then they have a massive drag race here over this triple jump. Harp stays in it, and that gives him the lead.
Yeah, it wasn't done, was it, immediately from the corner, but from then he just started to pull clear as Isaac Gifton then came under pressure from the fast-charging Gianluca Facchetti, the Italian riding here at his home round. He had his moment as well.
Harp here, this is the move
for the lead.
Takes him into the lead over Hartwell. Watch around the outside, just slips by, puts the Husqvarna up front.
Homo did try to come back, but just had to pull out of that challenge. Race kind of took a life of its own. Kress had his turn leading at the front, or did he? Briefly, because Jacopi and him were side by side, Jeff.
Yeah, they were side by side pretty much the entire first lap, depending on which turn it was. Didn't quite know who actually had the lead, but a great battle there. You had Smets back there, and
Anderson got himself into 5th, and then from 5th to 3rd in the space of that corner right there, about 15 meters, 100 meters, something like that. And then he went after Jacopi and his championship rival, Mike Kress, who's 2nd in points at this point in the race. Anderson then found his way into 2nd with that move on Kress. In fact, he took the lead at that point. It was James Dunn who was the danger man.
Yeah, Dunn paced the leaders for a little bit, and then that halfway point, he really just found the flow and had a great lap time where the other riders started to fail and make a couple little mistakes. Just flew by.
taking no prisoners. Number 1, Mike Crass. And he was hoping that Michael Hall would go with him as well and push Anderson back to 3rd. Big moment there for Crass as he stayed up into that final turn. Cost him a little bit of time, but then he started to pull clear of Anderson again. Michael Hall now had already dropped back a few seconds as well. Then there was a second win for Anderson. Got back onto the rear wheel of number 1, Mike Crass. Out jumped the Dutchman, almost threw it away on the next jump as well. It wasn't pretty, but he got the job done. Vasgaard fell. Eventually he came home in 12th place. That was how close it was between Nordstrom and Graf as he took the lead briefly from Adamo. And these two were duking it out. And all the while, Otero was closing in the background.
Yeah, you really thought that Otero here from Portugal, that he was going to be able to take advantage of this battle, but wasn't going to be. Adamo goes back to the lead.
Then the battle between the two title chasers. Adamo found his way past, but then straight back. And Anton Nordstrom Graf got himself through, and they both capitalised on a mistake from the 7 of Rasmus Moen, who got pushed down to 4th at that stage. These two then battle over 2nd and 3rd. And in the end, this was the defining move. Adamo got himself into 2nd with that pass on Nordstrom Graf. Vasgaard were having their elbow moments, and the siblings of 84, Lindvold and brother up the inside there, number 85, Casvold. They duked it out over 7th and 8th. Doing his best to fend off the challenge of the 47 of Otero, who wasn't taking any prisoners. Oh, I leant on him as he went through. Kuika was right there as well, 61, but it still wasn't over then. Otero threw away the lead. Picked himself up, remounted. But those four ended up coming back together again for another couple of rounds of bar banging and paint swapping. Otero went around the outside of Adamo to take over the lead.